Not only did they steal my child and say that they raped my child to death, they're following me around the area where I'm putting out evidence. I just crossed the street from the bus stop after putting the video together, and a white male, as soon as I started walking, he's bald-headed, he started walking towards me, and God was like, let me know, like, they want to harm you. This was from Conroe, and they keep doing it. So what I wanted to show y'all, I'm going to show y'all some photos of me and my son, but I did an overlay of the people who abducted my child and have me screaming all over social media saying that they gang raped my child. They stole him. They abducted him. They fraudulently went into a courtroom lying so that they could keep him, and are sabotaging me outside and saying that they have been raping my child, saying that they said they raped him to death. That's what they said they did. So it stemmed from the mail and the mugshot, Austin John Meador, coming and attacking me in my apartment. And then he was attacking me with my little one. And he was 20 months old when Austin got out of prison from TDC, a Texas Detention Center, and came to my apartment at 1308 Houston Street in Conroe, Texas, apartment 3. And I break every curse off of apartment 3 in the name of Jesus that Cynthia Olvera placed on my apartment. Because she is placing curses on the apartment to try to make it seem like it's irrelevant that you stole my child from a block down from my apartment where your white son was attacking me, and then lied up in someone's courtroom saying that I shot your son and I didn't have any income, while you said, after you said that you were gang raping my child. So this is my little boy. Austin was in prison while we were taking these photographs, and we were living our life, doctor's appointment, family, in my home. This was him in his crib, and Cynthia was at her home in Magnolia, Texas, but she already knew that I told Austin that I didn't want to be with him no more if he was going to be coming into my home attacking me, and my family knew that. I told them, and they let these people take my child, saying that they were gang raping my child for white America because I shot Austin in the leg being violent with my son after Austin was released from prison. Now, I had been calling the Conroe police that said they gang raped my child with her, and I had been asking them to remove Austin. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars trying to hurry up and back out and follow me, and they done said they raped my baby to death. And these is what African Americans in my family is over here letting them do while I'm putting out the evidence that they said they was raping my baby, and my family was saying that they were allowing him and the Illuminati to rape my child while I was in the jail on the charges. So I'm tired of telling the story because no reason should give you a right to rape nobody's 2-year-old. He was 22 months old. There's nothing on this earth that you could claim that I did to make you rape a baby. It's because she said because I was brown skin, because my skin was brown, because of the color of my skin. That's why Cynthia said that they were raping him to death, and saying they were passing him around, giving him AIDS and herpes. And have the nerve, God said, and Cynthia have the nerve to be having these males that she said that she told Andrea she raped Andrea's baby with, following Andrea around. And you done stole my child, and she feel because my skin is brown and her skin is white that she's going to get away with raping my baby. And God said, Andrea is going to file murder charges on you, Cynthia Olvera, if you keep on trying to lie, saying that you keeping Andrea's son from her. That came from Jesus Christ, and she claimed that she denounced him and that she going to hell for this brotherhood that she's involved with. So this is the Ku Klux Klan. At the top, the KKK, and God said those are the men that she had following her around. The Illuminati is the one that she said that was all raping my child, that they said was raping my child with her. And the Black Freemasons right there, they said that they were raping my child with them. And the Conroe police said that they were raping my son. Now, Cynthia is the one down there in the black shirt and the short blonde hair. She's a lot older now, and she's been sickly. So I don't even know if Cynthia is still alive because she had cancer. but she still was saying that she was raping my baby and that she was racist. They pulling all out of all of these apartment complexes over here by the Galleria Mall. It don't even matter. It's the whole country doing it. All you need to know is that I'm in Houston, Texas, and that the whole country is doing it, and I'm around the Galleria Mall, and they're trying to set me up to be murdered and said that they gang raped my child. So it stemmed from Austin abusing me, and Joseph, Cynthia's husband, had been paying the rent at my apartment, and I didn't want Austin there. But they felt because I was brown-skinned that they were going to try to steal my apartment from me and frame me to be like, oh, she was the one abusing him, arrest her instead. So I was trying to file charges on him to get him out of my home, but everybody in the community was like, dawg, because she's African-American, because she brown-skinned, ain't no way we finna make him leave up out of that house, and his parents is paying the rent. But he was in there tearing up everything and abusing me and my son. So they wouldn't make him leave. He was fleeing and hiding at his mama's house. The police wouldn't make him leave. They wouldn't let me press charges out of my home. And he had just been released from prison for assault. And they let him run me out of my house screaming for the police in the middle of the street, asking my neighbors to call the police and civilians. And then I had to go into a restaurant a block from my home called Baytown Seafood Restaurant on the corner of Everett and Fraser Street. And I had to ask them if they would please call 911. So several 911 calls had already been made from my apartment. And he had destroyed it, tore up everything. And they said that they would. It was like a man, he seemed like he was like Middle Eastern descent, Indian type of guy. And he called, and Austin came in there attacking us. So Cynthia came into a judge's courtroom while they had me in jail on the charges. It was a family court judge, and had them sue me knowing that I was innocent and I'm not guilty. The charges have been dropped. And she came into a family courtroom, sued me so she could try to change everything around after saying she was raping my son with them. And they came up with the bright idea to try to make it seem like it was Austin's apartment. And the judge already knew, Tracy Gilbert, a white male judge, he already knew the evidence, and he knew there was a witness, and he knew that it was my apartment. But he framed me to say that Cynthia could have custody of my son after she said they were all raping him. And I had not been released from the jail yet. And I was still in the jail, and knowing that they said that they was raping my baby. And I was pregnant. And they were trying to murder me in the jail before my trial. So when I was released, they kept my child. They following me right now with dogs and all that old kind of stuff outside while I'm telling on you. And they got black people doing it with them. So let me just tell y'all what all they said they was doing to my child then, since they want to try to intimidate me while I'm telling, like, you got some nerve. And that's what God was saying. He was like, you got them men following his mama, and you said that they raped her child with you. And she was like, I'm going to hell. So anyway, let's just go back to the scene where I shot him. He came in the restaurant after I asked the man to dial 911 and start being violent with me and my child. And I was pregnant and bleeding. And I ended up shooting him in the leg. So the Conroe police had given Cynthia, my little boy, at the scene. And they put me in the car, in the little squad car. And I don't know who came up with the bright idea to rape him, but Cynthia was the one who came and told me. And she was saying, that's why I put my face in your son's behind. And then her husband, Joseph, said, and I put my face in it too, in your son's behind. And then she said, and that's why Austin stuck his penis in your son's mouth. So Austin had been in the hospital for 3 weeks. Behind the shooting, and it shattered his femur. So they took my child from the scene. I don't know how long they started raping him, exactly the date, but she told me by January 2019. And Austin got shot September 18, 2018. So by October, I started having visions of Austin with my child, riding around, going places with my child. And there were people coming up to the jail telling me that he had my son after he had been shot. And so they were lying about the evidence at my court dates up until December 2018. And so in January 2019, Austin was healed Meaning that I mean, I ain't gonna say he was healed, but he had been released from the hospital, and he was well enough to rape him. And that's when Cynthia told me, and she was like, Austin put his penis in Melbourne's mouth and made Melbourne give him oral sex. And then Austin was saying that he had to go to hell for what he did to my child and what they was out there doing to my child. And he was saying, Dre, I'm going to hell. And then Cynthia was saying she was going to hell. And Joseph was saying he was going. Cynthia's husband. And then Cynthia showed me all the Conroe police on top of my baby. And he was naked in Pampers. He was supposed to be in Pampers, but he was that size. And she had taken off his pamper. And all of these men had my son in different sexual positions, and they was all on top of my son doing sexual stuff to my baby. And my son, I heard him screaming, and it was loud where it could break glass. And then Austin was saying that in order for you to get him back, you got to come to hell. He was saying that he was saying that basically he was really hiding behind everybody that was doing it for him. And then the Black Freemasons started saying that they were raping him next. They supposed to be black leaders in this country that are Black Freemasons, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. But these Black Freemasons was over here telling me that they were raping my baby with these white men. And they said, we giving him AIDS. And these black men was like, we giving him herpes all over his little body. And we giving him AIDS. And we all ejaculating in his mouth and in his behind. And giving him worms in his stomach. And we putting black widow spiders in you. And we giving him worms in his behind. And we gonna give it to you. And then we're going to cut his body up. They said we're going to keep him in a location and keep raping him over and over until he got disease all over his body. And then she's got me all on social media since I've been released on the charges telling. Because I'm his mom. And you shouldn't have did that. And they all chasing me around trying to bully me. Larissa Jones, my sister, she was over there talking about, I'm letting these white men rape your baby while you up in this jail. Because they feel like white people got all the power up in this country. And then Donald Trump is over here covering my pregnancy. And he was in office when they did this. And Skull and Bones is involved. So God said go for Joseph Olvera, Cynthia's husband. He's a Hispanic male. And he said he was raping my baby. And he know better than that. And it's ridiculous for Joseph to help Cynthia steal my child, knowing that I was a great mother and that Austin was abusing me so he could rape him. And Cynthia was sick. She was already dying of cancer. But I think she's still alive. But they're hiding from me and trying to say that they have a restraining order against me at Cynthia and Joseph's home in Magnolia, Texas. And then they threatened to flee the state of Texas, saying that Tracy Gilbert, the white male judge that was saying they could have my baby while I was in the Montgomery County jail, and after I got out on the charges, after they said they were raping my child, was saying that she's his permanent mother and that she have permanent custody. And they got gangs of white people and blacks, Asians, Hispanics, all out here abusing me outside and leaving me out of shelters or trying to murder me in the shelter. Just so they don't have to return me my baby alive. And she said she denounced Jesus. And when she told me this, that she was doing all this to my baby boy. And Jesus is the one who have been guiding me, but they feel like we so racist. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been hurting black people for a long time to have all the power over here in America. And we already know the consequences of what we did to your child and what we doing to your baby, and we going to hell. But what she was saying was that she was not going to have no repercussions in this life about it. and that she was going to successfully set me and my children up to be murdered. And so Jesus told me that Cynthia knows that she cannot keep my son from me. She can't keep him from his mother. And so God was like, you going to have to file murder charges on her if she keep on lying up in court, talking about Andrea don't have no income while they framing me outside, pregnant and abused. And then talking about you was raping my child. She said she was raping him while I was in the jail. And they said they were going to keep him in the room and that the black men in the country was going to be raping him too. And then they said that they was going to be raping him to death. And that's a child. And they riding around in cars right now, swarming around me as I'm telling. And they've been doing this the whole damn time. And they got my family thinking that they going to be popular and with celebrities, or they going to get killed for trying to tell the truth. Now, my thing is, my family didn't show me anything about wanting to tell the truth. Why the hell is you walking up on me? Nah, because I'm going to call you out while I'm recording. Chill. Okay, he moving around. And then this is a black man pulling up on me, and I'm ready to spit on his car because he pulling directly up in front of us for the Ku Klux Klan, and they said they were raping my baby with them. The black men said, oh, this is these white people's country, and we want to rape him too. We raping him too. And here's a white woman walking up on me as I'm telling the information. This is what they over here doing up in America. And I'm hoping and praying that there's somebody that's out there in this world that could come over here and help me and be like, nah, y'all white women is not finna sit over there and rape Miss Jones' baby to death and torture her pregnant and then tell her she ain't never gonna see her baby again. And then try to make her commit suicide or go crazy so y'all can hurry up and murder Miss Jones, pregnant with that baby that I'm carrying and that they've been torturing. And I'm so disappointed in the African-American males and females for what they over here doing. They riding around in these cheap-ass cars trying to set me up to be murdered on foot with people that they said that they raped my baby with. And at that point, I don't want to be in the country because of what y'all over here doing. That's a child that I gave birth to. And just because he's white and he got shot in the leg, you don't sit over here and do that in front of all these African-American children. You don't sit over here and steal nobody's baby and try to go against Jesus Christ and Jehovah. That's why Cynthia lying up in court, trying to say that she's got custody of him. She's lying. That is not what's going on. And God is the one who is in control. So, first of all, I'm going to say this to you, Cynthia Olvera, because I know you keep in check. And I'm going to speak it to you in the spirit, regardless if you ever listen to the video or not. And Joseph Olvera, Austin John Meador. I'm speaking to the three of y'all. And Ingrid Chandler, my lawyer. Because I ain't get on you yet about letting them steal my child to rape my baby. Because I'm brown skinned. They talking about they going to hell. You damn right you going. And that's okay. You can leave me walking around without my baby talking about you gang raped my child to death. But God said I'm going to file murder charges. And Houston police is riding around trying to set me up to be murdered pregnant outside with all of the civilians in the state of Texas and the whole country. And how I'm supposed to file murder charges on her. So basically these are devils. They said that they was witches and that they was worshiping Satan, and Satan was white. Satan was white, and God was coming as a brown. And so they tried to say they was God over here in America, and then God was in me and said, go back to Revelations and see what color God is. And the Lord made me say it. He forced it out of my mouth. And I had to go to Revelations and look. And then Cynthia was all saying a whole bunch of witchcraft, and the Lord made me tell them out of my mouth that I'm sending you to hell. Now, I told the witches that was lying about my pregnancy, I said, I'm sending you to hell for what you back here trying to do to this baby up in me. And I told her that I was sending her. And it came out of my mouth. So I don't know what going on. I don't know who I am walking this earth. I don't know who I am. Because the Lord made me tell her out of my mouth that I'm sending you. What power do I have to send you to hell as a pregnant black woman who you telling that I'm a slave, but how can a slave send you to hell? But I told her that it came out of my mouth, and the Lord made it come out of my mouth. And Jesus said that his name was Jehovah. And there was someone else that I said I was sending to hell out of my mouth. And it was the young white woman, the teenage one, the young adult that's out here convincing the black male to turn against me. And these are my mates. I'm mating with a male, and she want to come and turn them against me, and she got the whole damn country trying to set me up to be murdered pregnant by Austin. Men that was coming to talk to me and be with me, this young white woman is over here in America turning them against me while I'm pregnant and fighting this case. And the Lord made me tell her out of my mouth, I'm sending you to hell. You one of the closest things to the devil. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I said, no, I don't want to hear it now. So I don't understand who I am. Because how can I send you to hell? But he said, I'm sending you. And then the old white man was trying to attack me in the cell, was trying to come up in the spirit and attack me. And I said, get away from me, you blue-eyed devil. I said, get away from me, blue-eyed devil. I didn't know, I knew that he was wicked all the time, that I was on the earth with him. But I never called him that until that day, that he tried to come and attack me in the spirit up in my cell. And I said, get away from me, blue-eyed devil. And God made it come out of my mouth. And I know the word of God. And the word of God said, I will be with you and I will be in you. And the Lord was in me, and he was talking. He was talking out of my body. And I was afraid in the flesh, but my spirit, he was in me, like he said. And then Satan came, and he sat on my bed while I was asleep in the cell. And I ain't talking about just how we see white men walking around with their dogs. No. He came and just sat on the bed. And I looked at him because I felt all the wickedness of humanity come into the room. And then I said, get away from me, Satan. And he fled. He was gone as soon as I said that. And so there was another instance where I asked God to execute the pedophiles that was helping her. And there was a male named Marcus Eugene Mitchell. They had sex trafficked me with the Salvation Army in Atlanta, Georgia. He sex trafficked me into an apartment complex pregnant, and then tried to harm my pregnancy for these people that said they were raping my little boy. Now, Cynthia was like, that's Melbourne back in your stomach because we raped her, and she was lying. I don't even want to tell y'all nothing that she said, because God said, nah, the age have to match. She have children. She got that one that you said you raped, and she pregnant again. And stop trying to harm her children. Now, I said execute, cut off the head. I prayed to the Lord, because that's wrong to be having my people of my color over here trying to set me up. Because you said that you was letting everybody gang rape my child and making it seem like you was his grandmother and custody of him, but you had hatred for me in your heart and hatred about Austin's leg, and was like, okay, we all hate her for shooting Austin. Let's take this baby and all gang rape her baby, because we hate Andrea for shooting Austin and he's white, and we want to be malicious towards her, so we want to hurt this baby. That was evil. And for anybody to be over here covering it up with her, I asked God, I said, execute. Chop off the head. I asked the Lord to do it. Because if I was to say it, then I would be wrong in their law, or when they lying about stuff. You deserve the death penalty for stealing somebody's baby and gang raping somebody's baby. And if the whole country did it, then all y'all deserve the death penalty. The law is the law. If you raped him, you need to be brought up on murder charges like God said. And you trying to hide behind black males that are pedophiles in this country and using them to set me up. And the Holy Spirit showed Marcus Eugene Mitchell. Marcus met me at the West End Mall after the Salvation Army forced me to leave pregnant with the baby in me. And after I posted the baby's heartbeat online. He told me, I'll let you come to my apartment with me and live with me if you let me be your boyfriend. And then when we got in there, he tried to force me to have sex with him and I didn't want to. And then he told me I had to and was trying to force me to have sex with him without condoms. And then he was in there talking about Satan. He started talking about Satan. And then he was in there abusing me, trying to eat up my food stamps and that for my pregnancy, bringing back tampered food, plotting with me with all the black people in the neighborhood, plotting on me with all the black people that was in the community. And whites. He was over there trying to set me up and my baby up. And he was trying to rape me hard. And God had showed him. And he tried to attack me. Because whatever he was trying to do up to me up in that apartment, it didn't work the way that they wanted it to. And then Marcus came trying to attack me after I prayed that prayer to the Lord when I went to sleep. And a black woman came as God. She came as God. And she chopped his head off. And I watched his head go off his shoulders and blood come out. And I was wondering, what's going on, Lord? Why when I asked you to chop off the head of a pedophile, I specifically asked for God to do it. I said, God, do it. Oh, God, do it. And when she came, she didn't look like these African American women that's over here or the African women that's over here selling me out with them. She looked African. She looked tribal. And she chopped his head clean off like she wasn't scared of no white man, no courtroom, no federal judge, no jury, no none of that. She chopped his head off like she knew there was not going to be no repercussions about chopping it off. Because, see, they got us scared to do it. They riding around helping these people, and then we can't do it. So I asked God, and I specifically asked for God. So I wanted to know, God, why did you come as a black woman? Why did you come as a black woman with short hair, tribal, and chop off his head as a woman? Now, I done seen God in different forms from what I believe. But why did you come as a woman? That's what I want to understand. And it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. Because when you expect God to show up, you expect God to show up as a man. That's what you expect. Now, I have seen God as a man. Flipping these people over, fighting them for me. But this time it was a woman when I asked for the execution of the pedophiles. And Marcus Eugene Mitchell was a bad one. It was something about him. I don't know if he's going to really get executed. I'm just telling you what I saw in the spirit. So this is leaving me in a position where the whole country is pedophiles. The whole country is Satanist. Everybody over here is just like the Bible say. It's a den for every demon, everything that you can imagine. This is what they over here doing. So Inger Chandler, the white woman at the bottom with the glasses, was my lawyer. And she knew that I was not guilty, and she came up to the jail and was coming to my court dates and pretending to me like she was going to help me get out the jail. But then once the investigator, Sheriff Jim McDougal, had went and found out that I was protecting myself, he already knew. He was setting me up too. God let me know he was setting me up too, trying to get me not to contest the charges, and they were going to lie about my pregnancy and send me to prison pregnant. And then Inger was over there with the KKK and with the Skull and Bones and the Illuminati and the Conroe Police and the Black Freemasons, Austin and Cynthia and Joseph, her husband. I just don't got a picture of Joseph. Saying that they were raping my child. And Inger was saying that she was right there. Talking about she was setting me up to be murdered. And this was my lawyer. So she knows that they said they was gang raping my child, and she out here trying to let me be murdered, pregnant. And Inger Chandler, I want to know where the hell is my child. And God said, well, Inger Chandler knew that was illegal. For her to allow the male that attacks her and his mom to sue her for her baby, knowing that Andrea was not guilty. And I told Inger Chandler when they started talking about they were suing me for my son up in the jail while they was still talking about they was waiting on my trial. I said, Austin and Cynthia just sued me through Tracy Gilbert courtroom. I already knew they were setting me up to be killed because me and Inger Chandler had a discussion in the spirit when they said they was raping my son. And God was in me when they tried to kill me, but they tried to come in the spirit and do some witchcraft to do it. And when they did, the Lord jumped in my body. And I know everybody who was setting me up to be killed with them. And they all running around trying to hide it. Larissa, Shakina, Andrew, Kiana, and my granny, Irma Marshall. Why did you do that? Why would you go run off with a whole country full of people that said that they was gang raping my child? And then I'm going to tell you how they were saying it. So the Black Freemasons was like, we making him suck dicks. That's disgusting. Austin leg ain't that important. To be attacking me, no, it's not that important. And don't try to say, oh, she maliciously shot him. No, I didn't. But for you to be talking about you making a 2-year-old suck dicks, that you making a 22-month-old suck dicks, no, it's not that important for you to do that. So my family hated me that bad. Larissa, you hated me that bad? To sit there and listen to a whole organization full of black pedophiles saying that we making your sister's son suck dicks. And she sitting there like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, kill her. While they talking about they making my baby suck dicks. And Shakina was over there doing it too. So how you gonna sit there and be like, yeah, they made my sister's 22-month-old baby suck everybody dick in the organization until he got AIDS and he died? What the hell kind of story is that? So they wicked over here. And then she's hiding. Everybody hiding from me, leaving me outside at a bus stop for these people to swarm around me. And my grandmama was always taking me to Elder Bell Church up there at Greater Mount Hermon. And I had a vision of me going up in the church. And I was with Larissa. But we went up in the church. And I stepped in the church. I was Indian. And I stepped up in the church. And I started punching everybody clean across the fucking cathedral. And they was wicked. And that's the church that my grandma was going to. And my grandma was sitting over there talking about, don't kiss them because you know they got AIDS. They running through you. So it's like, just because somebody is your grandma don't mean that. At this point, the Holy Spirit done showed me not to be mad at none of my family. I don't know why, but I ain't got no reason being mad at y'all. It just don't mean that y'all not going to be punished. And they still letting me scream on social media for my baby. Larissa ain't reaching out. Kiana not reaching out. Granny not reaching out. None of my family is reaching out on my social media. They sitting over here letting these people try to set me up to be murdered. And they done did that shit my whole damn life to me. And I'm sick of them. So at this point, I done asked y'all to assassinate me if you cannot give me my child and if you don't pay me my lawsuit money about my children. But y'all steady want to be evil, and it's getting to the point where I almost had to beat the hell out of a black male last night. I almost had to fuck him up. So at the end of the day, it's like this. It's getting out of hand with y'all selling me out. And I need to know, I need to talk to blacks outside the country. And I need y'all to let me know if y'all stand for this shit. Because if y'all not going to say anything, and if y'all gonna continue to let them do this, talking about they gang raped that little boy, she needs to go to prison. Now, this is what God was saying. I'm going to file murder charges. So I'm going to just call the police department. I'm going to tell them that Cynthia killed my child with the KKK, with Skull and Bones, with the Conroe police, with pedophiles on the Conroe police force, with the pedophile organization called the Black Freemason Brotherhood, with her convicted felon son, Austin John Meador, with Ingrid Chandler, with Cynthia Olvera, and all my family members that was involved, telling me that y'all was letting these men rape my child because I was brown skinned and I shot him. Now, I've been sitting over here screaming about it on social media and the YouTube staff. Y'all ain't doing shit. Y'all ain't doing shit about it. And I feel like y'all blocking real people from being able to hear, because ain't no fucking reason why. But you know what God said? He made me say it. He told me to tell them to kill me. But because I wasn't going to work. God told me to tell them to kill me, but not to kill my son, and to take him into your kingdom, Satan. And he said that this was Satan's kingdom, and to just go on ahead and kill me because I was not going to worship. God said Andrea is not finna worship, so that's what my family is doing, I guess. Over here worshiping Satan. And he's white. So that's why everybody in the country sitting over here trying to set me up to be murdered for white people because they worshiping. And I guess that this is the last days where everybody got to bow down and worship Satan or be killed. And they all doing it. Everybody that's selling me out while I'm outside at the bus stop. Now they found out about how much the lawsuit is worth about my pregnancy, and all they little country behinds is going crazy about not wanting me to get the money. But y'all worshiping Satan though. You ain't getting reparations with real slaves. With that, they steal our children and say they gang raped our children for protecting ourselves. So how you over here trying to stop me from getting the reparation or restitution, repercussion money? You did not stay down with your people. And I got a lawsuit against these people, and the Lord told me, and he said something about some twins. When he said the 173 million. I don't know who twins he talking about. But I'm going to tell y'all this because they ain't telling me the truth about my ultrasound. I'm going to tell y'all, see how my stomach moving. And y'all see how tiny my stomach is. So it would be 173 million if there was two babies up in there, don't you think? This small, dad abused with two twins. And I'll tell you a vision that I had about twins. So the Lord jumped in my body when they tried to kill me in the cell. And my voice got deep as hell. And he started praying over my body in like Hebrew. But he did it with he spoke it out of my mouth, but it was him in control. And then he took my own hand and put it over my skin and restored my skin color because my skin had purple veins all over my body. I didn't know what the hell these people had done to me in that cell. I woke up on the damn ground. And then all of a sudden, he went to my womb because it wasn't moving. I had felt something moving when I was telling them I was pregnant, but they kept saying I wasn't. Then they tried to kill me and said they was gang raping my child. I woke up on the ground after telling them to kill me. That's all I remember. Next thing you know, I wake up looking dead. My skin got goddamn purple vein all through it. I started to freak out. And Jehovah started praying from inside of me through my mouth in Jesus Christ. And then he put his hand towards my womb. Well, he put my hand, but he was in my body. And he put my hand towards my womb. And then he started praying over it, and it started moving like a lot, just like it's moving now. And I could feel the baby in me, and it got bigger. And sometimes it do feel like two. And then he said, them twins she carrying is worth 173 million. But I ain't say that part because I don't know if it's twins, and I feel stupid if only one baby came out, or if I was only able to get one baby out. And I told on my social media what I heard about the two twins coming out of my mouth, but it was God. And I'm like, twins. And then I had asked God to break the power of the restraining order. They had a restraining order saying Austin had a restraining order against me after I shot him, saying if I bonded out while I was in there that I couldn't come to near their house. But I didn't know they said they was raping my baby. And that they was trying to tell me I couldn't come over there while they said they was raping them. I didn't know that. And then God had broke the power and said something about that time about she can't come around his twins. I'm like, what twins? Now, if he done had a baby with somebody and he got twins with somebody and them twins that she got 173 million, okay, that's different. But he prayed over my womb and made my womb start moving and said that them twins she carrying worth 173 million and her baby body worth 70 million. They was talking about raping my child and trying to kill baby up in me, talking about I had a rat in my belly. They said I had a rat, one child. That's what they said. But then out of my mouth, I said something about twins. 173 million. And so all of a sudden, when I was with Marcus Mitchell, I was holding one baby. It looked like I almost seen twins when I was at the Salvation Army. I had a vision, but I saw one at the end. So I was like, okay, it's probably just one. Then I seen myself holding one baby at Shakina's house. So I was like, okay, probably just one. Then I had a vision of me holding one baby a whole bunch of times. So I was like, it's just one. But it was moving like it could be twins. So then I was with Marcus Mitchell and I had a vision of a baby that was wrapped up in like plastic. And I had took the little plastic wrap or some little protective wrap off of the baby's skin. And I was holding it. And it was just one baby. But it was Austin's. And it looked just like Melbourne, like they was twins. Like they was twins. And then I had another vision of a little baby wrapped up like a little mummy in a very, very tiny car seat. And I went to the underworld to fight for Melbourne. And I came out with him every time. But they's keeping him in the spirit. I mean, the physical. But I kept going after him in the spirit and finding him with they demonic asses. Now, the part about some twins again. This was when I was in the house with Marcus Eugene Mitchell. And I was in Luther Landing Apartments on MLK Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. And I had been feeling both sides of my stomach, fetal movement. And, I was wondering and hoping that I was pregnant with twins the entire time that I was pregnant from the jail. Because it was a lot of movement. And so I was hoping it was twins. When I was in the jail, I told the lady, I was like, it's a lot of movement. And I was thinking, I was like, it might be twins. And it felt like I felt two fetuses moving around in me up in the jail. And then I heard the Holy Spirit say out my mouth, then them twins should carry 173 million. And I went back to my cell and it felt like I felt two of them moving around. And then around the 38 weeks, 36 weeks, when head started turning around, my whole damn body was shaking. I wasn't in no pain, but it was like feeling something moving around and you like, what the fuck? And then so when I got out, I would be feeling one side of my stomach. Like right now, I could put one side on my stomach and I got fetal movement on that side and I can have fetal movement right here. And I had another vision where the Holy Spirit told my little sister, put your hand right here on one side of my stomach and then put your hand over here on the other side of my stomach. And then so I didn't know why he was telling her to do that. So he was saying it out of my mouth though. God was in me. And so I put my hands right there and I felt the fetal movement on both sides. I was like, hold on, Melbourne wasn't like that. He'll go all the way to this side and move all the way over to that side. I was like, but it's fetal movement on both sides. So what the hell is going on? And then my stomach is kicking. It's just kicking. Now, it could be because of the distress of the fetus. And sometimes because I'm so skinny, yeah, I do feel like one. So I had a vision of some twins. They was tiny. And it looked like it was a boy and a girl. And Marcus Mitchell was like, that girlfriend had them babies in the vision. But my cousin Irma was saying that she was pregnant with twins. And my auntie had said that Irma had given birth to twin babies and was showing me pictures of Irma with two babies. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe Irma pregnant with twins again. And because there was something about Irma in the vision as well, and my grandmother and people lying about my pregnancy, but my other family members being pregnant too, and I don't know who twins he was talking about. But he said that girl finna have them babies. Now my cervix was kind of changing a little bit up in the house with Marcus Mitchell. And I told him because I thought that I could trust him. But he was setting me and the baby up. He was setting, and I don't know if it was twins, but he was setting me up, pregnant in the house. And so my cervix was changing, and he wanted me to go get some long nails. And I noticed what he did. I was like, now I can't check my cervix. And then he started abusing me. And I had a vision around the time that I realized he was setting me up because he kept trying to ask me to smoke weed when I didn't want the weed. I wanted to work on the case and lay down and eat. And then I went to sleep and I had a vision that said them girls, I saw him plotting on me with Michelle, with Cynthia, Joseph, Larissa, and Shakina, and my lawyer, Inga Chandler. And I had was in the house and I heard him say that girl finna have them babies. And then there was a female in the room, and it seemed like it was my cousin Irma in the vision. And it seemed like she was about to give birth. But I went and questioned it. And I seen the babies. And I said, who your baby daddy? Because the babies looked like my baby daddy. Like they could be his kids. And I'm like, I was like, who your baby daddy? That's what the Holy Spirit God made me ask her. And then they didn't answer me. I don't know who gave birth to the babies, but they was tiny. And then I ran off in the dark crying. And I'm outside right now in the middle of the night by myself, being set up outside pregnant with all this fetal movement up in my stomach, being starved and abused and raped. But in the vision, I ran off screaming. And I was crying so bad, hysterically. And I said, I knew it was twins. I knew it was twins. Why would I say that in the spirit? Why would I be crying in the spirit about whatever y'all been doing to me and saying I knew that it was twins?